Hey, Living Church, just wanted to take a moment to celebrate with you, just to share with you the different ways that God is using you during this time to advance Jesus' kingdom. We've just come through this study on the Beatitudes, characteristics of his kingdom, and I just wanted to share with you just different ways that God is using you and your faithfulness to advance his kingdom, to make an impact during this season that we're in right now. One of the wins I want to share with you is just how God is using you and your faithfulness in your financial giving during these past 4 or 5 months. Living Church is in the best financial position we have ever been in our 10 years together. Right now, we have more money in the bank than we've ever had. And we've given a good amount of money away to meet needs during this time. And that's because of your faithfulness to the Lord, your belief in his mission, and in supporting Living Church during this time to live out this mission. And he's doing that through your faithfulness and through your financial giving. A couple months ago, let me just give you a couple examples of how God is using you and your giving to meet needs. Many of us are familiar with Pastor Isaiah and their family. They have a ministry here in our city to reach African immigrants, and we've celebrated Easter with their church congregation the past few years. And they've had some struggles financially, and recently our elders became aware of their struggle to really pay their bills. And so we said, well, what can we do? And so together we decided that it was in the best interest for their ministry and for their family that we give them $1,000 to help pay their electric bill till the end of this year. And so we did. You gave Pastor Isaiah and their family $1,000 to be able to cover their electric bill so that they can keep the lights on in their own home, so they can continue to minister and serve that population of people in our city, so that those African immigrants in our city can hear the good news of Jesus. There's just one example. Another example is we heard of some needs in Erlanger, Kentucky, through a Hispanic ministry, Hispanic church. And there were a couple of Hispanic families who were struggling financially. And we got wind of this, and we said, what can we do? So we gave several $100s to help meet those needs. There's a Korean church that we're connected to in Florence, Kentucky. And again, we sent a couple $100s to them to help them during this time. Also, First Baptist Church in Newtown, several months ago, we sent them a couple $100s to help them and their people during this time. We've also, as a church, you've done this. You, through your giving, have been able to help people with some of their air conditioning repairs that they've needed during this season. Also, with other ways, our house churches have come together to help cover car repair bills for people in our house churches. Also, we heard of some needs at the Belterra backside where the workers at the racetrack are in desperate need. They were in need of water, and so we gave water to them, and now we're aware of their need for men's socks, medium and large, and bath towels. And so these are just some of the ways that God is using you through your financial giving to help meet the needs, not only within our family of house churches, but within our city. And through your giving, God is advancing his kingdom, and people are hearing and seeing what it looks like to be a kingdom citizen, a follower of Jesus, with Jesus as our King. And so I just wanted to say thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for your faithfulness. And continue to remain faithful in your giving, because God is using you, and it's a testimony. I share this with other pastors and other church leaders, and like, what in the world? How is that possible? It's God. It's a testimony of God using you and your faithfulness to him and his mission. And God is using you to proclaim his name, not only throughout our city by meeting these needs, but also to the church in our city. So I want to just celebrate that with you and say thank you. And let's continue to remain faithful in our giving so we continue to advance the kingdom of Christ here locally and even regionally and around the world. This Sunday we are going to be online, and we'll be doing a study on prayer, because in 2 weeks you're going to be gathering with your house church for prayer walking and prayer gatherings to just pray for your neighborhood, pray for your coworkers. And so we want to just do a reminder on prayer this Sunday morning, because really what we're doing is spiritual battle. in our neighborhoods and in our in our workplaces and in our city. And so we want to prepare our hearts for that as we do spiritual battle. Labor Day weekend as we gather for prayer as house churches. All kinds of other things God is doing through you. We are seeing Bible studies starting with neighbors in different neighborhoods. Jason and Izzy are starting on the Sundays we gather as online only. Jason and Izzy in their neighborhood. They pastor our Crescent Springs House Church with Kyle and Alyssa. Jason and Izzy are starting a Sunday school in their front yard for kids in their neighborhood. And so pray for them, that these kids would hear the gospel, parents would hear the gospel, and lives be transformed as they live the gospel out right there where they live, work, and play. And I was thinking about it, if you would love to learn more about how do I live like a missionary that Jesus has called me, how do I live like a missionary in my neighborhood? How do I go about starting maybe a Bible study in my neighborhood or with coworkers? Would you reach out to us, send us a Facebook message, send me a text, whatever your house church pastor text, say, hey, I want to know how I can better live like a missionary. We want to come alongside you. We would love to maybe start something, some kind of equipping meeting or training online for those that might be interested in wanting to learn more and practical ways that you can live like a missionary and maybe even begin to start a Bible study which could lead to house church down the road possibly. If you'd be interested in that, let us know. Let us know. Church, you're loved. Just wanted to celebrate with you. God is using you in great ways. And continue to stay connected to the vine, Jesus. And let's continue to swim in this stream together, the stream of proclaiming the name of Jesus for the purpose of making disciples who know Jesus, love Jesus, live Jesus out, make him known, and we advance his kingdom together. All right, church, you're loved.